So I just want to go over form for some common lifts. So we're going to go over an overhead press, hip thrust, and a deadlift. And just some common mistakes that I generally see that I want to make sure that you are doing correctly. So first we look at our overhead press. We're pressing overhead, and what we want to think about is keeping our pelvis neutral. So we don't want to be arched in our back when we're pushing overhead. Bring it into a neutral position, engage your core. So what that looks like is through here, nice and strong, pressing up, here. What I don't want it to look like is this, arched back in here. So control it forward, engage the core, pressing up. Next is our deadlift. So what we want to think about for our deadlifts, very importantly, that it is not a squat. For our deadlifts, we want to think about hinging our hips back and moving in that pattern. So what we want to think about is sending hips back, almost as if you're trying to shut a car door with your butt. So here, you're going to roll shoulder blades down and back, holding your dumbbell here, and you're going to send hips back into a neutral spine here, pushing off the floor, squeezing the glutes just into a neutral position. We don't need to come here. Again, and up. Good. And we're also going to look at the squat pattern. So for squats, we want to think about keeping our knees tracking over our toes. Very importantly, that when we squat, we don't want our knees to cave in. So you're thinking shoulder blades down and back, chest is strong, core is engaged, squatting down and up. We want to try to get to parallel here, pressing up. So what we don't want is caving in through here. Good, so next we're going to look at the hip thrust. And with hip thrusts, we want to think about getting a posterior pelvic tilt at the top. So we're slightly tilting our pelvis here. So we want to think about the bench or the chair. You want about under shoulder blades here, nice and comfortable. Chin is tucked and our ribs are down. So we're not extended out here. My ribs are down, thinking about closing the gap here. Your hands can be at your chest, or if you have a weight on your lap, they can be there. So we're in this position. We're starting here. I'm coming up, tucking pelvis, coming back down. What I don't want to see is this, and then extending through the back here. I want you rock down in a nice straight line and up. A way to make this a little bit more difficult is to push the weight through your heels so your toes are actually elevated here, and you want to think knees slightly turned out. Squeeze the glutes up at the top and back down. And that is it.